It's our understanding in history that women are merely innocent bystanders, stuck in the crosshairs of male conquest, war, and genocide. So in our retellings of modern history, women are never given nearly enough credit for the key but understated role that they played in the establishment of the National Socialist Germany, Communist China, and the Soviet Union. When we think of the Russian Revolution, we typically think of armed Bolsheviks storming the Winter Palace and the Red October coup d'etat, not women leading strikes and collapsing the Russian monarchy. Vladimir Lenin in 1920 said, "There can be no real mass movement without the women." Mao Zedong of the Chinese Communist Party in 1955 said, "In order to build the great socialist state, it is of the utmost importance to arouse the broad masses of women into productive activity." In a 1934 speech, Adolf Hitler, addressing the German Women's League, said, "We have gained the trust of millions of women as fanatical fellow combatants." Italian Benito Mussolini in 1923, addressing the Women's Fascist Conference, said, "Women always had a predominant influence in shaping the destiny of humanity." Authoritarian regimes use cult tactics, such as elevating a leader to a godlike status, and statistically speaking, women are statists. They adore a powerful, centralized government, especially one with a benevolent, paternalistic veneer. What is a cult? How does it work? Who are its members? A cult is a dysfunctional social group bound by a religious-like set of beliefs and practices. Each cult has its own theme. It doesn't necessarily have to be religious. It could be centered around a magnetic guru's self-help doctrine or an off-center political ideology. How do cults work? Well, initially they present themselves as non-threatening. And then they use isolation, exclusion, and ostracization to control their members. This looks like shunning and a fear of outsiders. Cults use self-incrimination and public humiliation. You might be asked to publicly confess to your white male privilege. Cults use a tattletale network, and this creates a sense of all-knowing omnipresence. Cults punish critical thinking. This information comes from cult experts Robert Lifton and Margaret Singer. Who is a cult member? A cult member is anyone who is approached and recruited by a cult during a vulnerable time in their life. This individual could have low self-esteem or struggle with loneliness and a desire for meaning. And this makes them very susceptible to friendly people who offer a sense of belonging and community. Cult members are young, well-educated. They're going through major life changes, and they don't know that they're in a cult. 70% of all cult members worldwide are women, according to Telegraph. So I developed a theory called fashionable politics. In order to be fashionable, politics has to be commodified. It has to be able to be worn, like a pair of heels or a handbag. Fashionable politics is instantly gratifying. When the spending power of American women could change the world, we can't fathom a life without forced labor and animal testing. So cancel culture only ever exists to elicit fake outrage around syrup and butter mascots. The fashionista is anti-establishment, yet she marches perfectly in lockstep with the ruling elite. Fashionable politics is highly marketable to college-educated white women. She doesn't bust dishes at the local soup kitchen, she performs before an online audience. Her left hand always knows what her right hand is doing because her charity is being live-streamed. Fashionable politics is mass manufactured for the consumption of teen girls and self-absorbed Hollywood celebrities. The political fashionista is wealthy, well-educated, suburban, young, white, female. She's often known as a keyboard warrior. And she looks an awful lot like a cult member. The Church of Woke actually is a cult. Cancel culture is its weapon, and its regime is supported by masses of loyal, young female followers, blindly going along with the outrage mob because she doesn't want to be the next one that's publicly humiliated and shunned by the cult.